All right, we're good to go.
All right, appreciate it, Brendan. All right, the time now is 7:10 and the date is March 15th. This is a regular meeting of the Springfield City Council. Will the council and the guests please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And before councilors rise, I also want to share that on behalf of Councilor Curran, who obviously is not on the call today, his mother passed. So I certainly want to dedicate this moment of silence to him and the Curran family on behalf of the City Council. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can you please call the roll?
Counselor Edwards,
Present.
present. Counselor Letterman,
Present.
present. Counselor Gomez, Counselor Gomez, I'll come back because I know I saw Counselor Gomez already. Counselor Allen,
present.
present. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield,
Present.
present. Counselor Ramos, Counselor Ramos, I'll come back. Counselor Brown,
Present.
present. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila,
Present.
present. Counselor Fenton,
Present.
present. Counselor Hurst,
Present.
present. Counselor Williams,
Present.
present. Counselor Gomez,
I'm present, Madam Clerk.
okay. Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Ramos, present.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any reports of committee this evening? No. Are there any reports of committee this evening? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, I have
Yes.
a quick finance committee report. We had a finance committee meeting today, right before the city council meeting, and I was accompanied by counselors on the committee, Tim Allen and Victor Davila, and also our colleagues, Counselor Hurst, Counselor Brown, Counselor Letterman. And we accepted the orders that will be presented, so we'll talk about them at that time, at the appropriate time.
Could I add something, Madam Chair?
Sure.
Sure.
I just want, it's just a good time to remind people that we have that presentation on Thursday. I had the occasion of attending the audit of the pension system. It was presented to the pension board, I believe it was in December. And Pat Burns is on that board, and Pat recommended that that was a good thing to maybe have done for the council. So I talked to Chair Whitfield of the Finance Committee, and we've arranged for, with Pat's help, for a presentation by the auditors, by our auditors on our pension fund. So everybody can get up to speed on where we are with that. And that is Thursday at 5 o'clock.
It's gonna be a 45-minute meeting, so it's gonna be start on time because we have to end on time.
All right, thank you, counselors, for the report on finance. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept the report?
On accepting the reports of committee, Counselor Edwards,
Yes.
yes. Counselor Letterman,
Yes.
yes. Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen,
Yes.
yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams.
Yes, the report has been accepted. Counselor Whitfield, did you want to take something out of order prior
Yes.
to the first item?
Yes, please. I would like to take a proclamation that I have for Commissioner Colton Harris out of order, if there's no objections.
Madam Clerk, what item is that, please?
Sorry, I didn't have the item ready.
Madam Clerk?
I don't see the proclamation on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda?
No, but it comes within what the council is allowed to hear. So it's up to you whether you'd like us to hear it tonight or if you want it to be heard at another meeting.
Well, I mean, if if it's within the rules to hear it tonight, then I will certainly hear it tonight, considering that we have the commissioner on the line currently. So if there is no objection, then we can call that item.
So the first item is a proclamation for Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Helen Colton Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for allowing us to be heard tonight. There was a lot of communication about the proclamation, so I apologize that it's not on the agenda. But I have a very special proclamation for Commissioner Colton Harris for many reasons. I'm not going to be too lengthy because there are so many wonderful things I could say about Commissioner Colton Harris. One thing I do want to tell folks about is when I had COVID-19, probably a little over a month ago, I called my family first to make sure they get tested. And the second person I reached out to was the commissioner. And when I say she's so thorough and knowledgeable about her job, her every single department that she ever ran, because I used to do the budget for Health and Human Services, so I know how thorough she is. And she gave me so much comfort, because you feel some guilt on the inside for contracting COVID-19. When you're trying to stay safe, you try to do everything that you can to keep your family safe, and then something happens and one misstep and you could have COVID-19. So everybody, please wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, and do all the things to keep your family safe. So I just wanted to tell you thank you for that, Commissioner. I didn't know who else to reach out to except you, and so you were wonderful. But you also have always been a lady that I look up to, because like the mayor always says, the eloquent, elegant Commissioner Colton Harris, you're so much more than that to me. You're like a Black woman in our community that is always on her game, and so always dressing sharp. Just it's what we aspire to be. It's just like you. And so what better month to give you a proclamation than International Women's Month? So I wanted to make sure that we did get this proclamation done before the month is over. Thank you. And I want to thank all counselors for joining in on the proclamation. This means a lot to me that everyone feels the same way I do about the commissioner. So I'm going to read the proclamation. It's pretty long, but bear with me. City of Springfield, March 15th, 2021. Whereas the City Council is always pleased to recognize an outstanding employee who always goes above and beyond the call of duty. Helen Colton Harris, Commissioner of the Division of Health and Human Services for the City of Springfield, is that individual. And whereas Mrs. Colton Harris is the first Black woman to hold the title of Commissioner of Division of Health and Human Services, which has oversight of 4 city departments: Veterans, Elder Affairs, Thomas J. O'Connor Animal Control Shelter, and the libraries. and she is also responsible for the direct supervision of the Springfield Department of the Health and Human Services and the Health Services for the Homeless. And whereas Ms. Colton Harris has played a prominent role in developing policies for the health and human service needs of underserved populations on the local and national level, and has been detrimental to the everyday functioning of the city during COVID-19 worldwide pandemic, where she has worked tirelessly, and I mean tirelessly, to keep all residents safe and healthy. And whereas, as a testament to her public policy work, she has received many numerous awards, including but not limited to the AIDS Action Award for the Action Committee and the Rebecca Lee Award from the Harvard School of Public Health. She was named Woman of the Year by the Springfield Postal Service and received the Paul Revere Award from the Massachusetts Public Health Association. And whereas in 2015, she was named a member of the inaugural class of 100 outstanding women of color from Western Mass and Connecticut. And in 2016, the African Hall Steering Committee of the Springfield Museum Association bestowed on her the prestigious Ubora Award. And in 2020, she was saluted as a Woman of Impact by Business West. And we're almost finished. Whereas, in addition to the many awards and accolades she has received, sits on many boards and councils, including the Public Health and Food Policy Council for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Gaming Commission Advisory Board. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Springfield the Springfield City Council hereby recognizes, honors, and commends Helen Colton Harris, Commissioner of Health and Human Services, for her commitment and dedication to the city of Springfield, and thanks for her endless service. A proclamation sponsored on March 15th, 2021, in honor of Commissioner Helen Colton Harris, attested by Clerk Tashina Davis, Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
We can't hug on Tuesday. We're doing this air hug. So this is for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But I also wanted to give you a personal gift from me, so you can relax and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you very much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
Did you want
Thank
to say?
you.
Just quickly want to thank Councilor Whitfield for this honor, and it is an honor, and it's a pleasure to work with each one of the city councilors. You all do a phenomenal job, and I thank you very much. And I think each and every one of you know, while this proclamation is for me, no one does anything alone. I have individuals who work with me, who do an amazing job as well. But I am grateful and I am humbled, and I do very much thank you. And thank you, Councilor Whitfield. I love you dearly.
I love you too.
I love you
I love
dearly.
you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor, and thank you, Commissioner, on a very well-deserved recognition for your service to the city of Springfield throughout the years. Counselor Hurst.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilor Whitfield, for that wonderful proclamation. Commissioner, I don't know what this city would have done over the course of the last year without you and without everything that you've done to keep this city intact. I know certainly firsthand, similar to Councilor Whitfield, you gave myself as well as my family advice during some very trying times when my entire family had COVID. So I appreciate you on a personal level for that, but I really just appreciate your dedication to this city. You do it with honor. I come from, a lineage of strong Black women, and you are right up there at the top. So I appreciate everything that you've done, and we couldn't have transitioned as a city council to going remote without you. And I certainly looked up to you for your advice, and I will continue to do so. So thank you for everything that you do on behalf of the city.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst.
Thank you, Counselor Hurst. Counselor Letterman.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor Whitfield, for the initiative. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, the first proclamation that has been issued by the City Council, both remotely, but also since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think that it's especially important to note that, and especially appropriate that it be going to Commissioner Colton Harris, who has really shepherded this city through the pandemic. But also Commissioner Colton Harris was the first department head I had the opportunity to meet with when I was elected. Councilor Ramos, who at the time was president, appointed me as a freshman counselor to chair the Committee on Health and Human Services, which is a position I hold now as well, and really has given me some of the most valuable experience that I've gained these last several years is learning from and having the opportunity to work closely with the commissioner. The commissioner is truly one of the most responsive individuals in local government. And that's true, I think, for all counselors, not just those on the HHS committee, especially this year, but also before the pandemic. I want to thank the commissioner for all the work that you've done throughout your tenure at HHS. And we know there will continue to be more to come, but also personally, thank you, Commissioner, for always being so available, having so much information, and working so closely with the City Council in the way that you do. We are extremely fortunate, the entire city and the entire City Council, to have you at the helm of HHS, and looking forward to coming through this pandemic and seeing what we can all continue to do with your leadership. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also I definitely have to thank Ms. Colton Harris for all the great work she's done. In my ward, we had over 200 residents displaced because of a flood, and a lot of the residents in Ward 4 was afraid, nervous. No one really knew what to do, and just to see Commissioner Colton Harris, when she got on the scene and took control and had everything organized and set up, she truly is an expert at what she does. And I definitely thank her for that day and for everything that she does. Being a new Black city councilor, there's been times in my early stint where I might not have articulated things properly, and I might not have shown the proper elegance, where Colton, the commissioner, has definitely guided me and showed me and taught me how to sharpen a lot of the things that you do as far as public service. So not only is she a mentor, she has even improved and mentored a lot of us Black young politicians. So I thank you, and love and peace to you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. Helen, it's been a pleasure working with you for the last 11 or so years on the council. And before that, we had the pleasure of working together on the Public Health Council. So it's been 15 or 16 years, and I always enjoyed working with you and your advocacy on behalf of the health and welfare of all the citizens of Springfield. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. And before we get to Councilor Davila, Madam Clerk, can you please just recognize Councilor Gumersindo Gomez, please?
Councilor Gomez?
Yeah, it's me. I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Commissioner, what else can I say that my colleagues haven't so eloquently say? I do truly believe that you are the right person at the right time, at the right job for the worst pandemic that we have faced. I am grateful for your leadership. I am grateful for your clarity and for putting things into perspective. Also putting the data for us to understand, such a way for us and the public to understand. I know you care deeply about Springfield. And so I just want to say to you, muchas gracias, great work, and may the Lord always bless you and protect you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Gomez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Helen, what can I say? You and I go back so many years.
Don't tell them how long. Don't tell them.
No, I'm not going to. Helen and I go back to our college years when we went to college together, and brought down the house together. Two big fighters in college. And when they saw us, they told us, they say, there goes hell on wheels. But Helen, I want to thank you for all the support that you have given us, the agency, through the stand down. Every time I had done the stand down, I have come to you and you have assisted us with finances so we could feed our homeless veterans for that day. So I really thank you that you have support the veterans 100%. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Councilor Gomez.
Gomez.
Councilor Edwards.
First, I'd like to thank Councilor Whitfield for her leadership on this issue, and to the Commissioner Carlton Harris, I wish to echo all of the comments and the sentiment of that have been offered to this point. I have great appreciation for you and for your work, your professionalism, and for helping also to shepherd the city through this pandemic and its effects. I sincerely thank you, and I ask that my gratitude be extended to your entire staff as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Councilor Fenton.
Commissioner, thank you for your tireless efforts on behalf of the city. Always a consummate professional. Proud to work with you and look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Are there any other councilors? I think that was every councilor almost. All right.
You.
Seeing no other councilors, Commissioner, I will just say very briefly, it's been such a pleasure to work with you over the last, 5-6 years already. And, I am a nurse's son. So just the care you provide I consider you a healthcare professional, just like the rest of them. And, it reminds me of what I saw growing up with my own mother. And, I just really want to thank you for your years of service. You've had an admirable tenure throughout the city of Springfield, and I look forward to your efforts for years to come.
Thank you very much. Thank you, councilors.
Right, thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, can you please call the first item on the agenda?
The first item on the agenda is a special permit for motor vehicle repairs at 1344 Dwight Street. It's continued from our February meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, is there any remaining testimony on this matter?
We do not have any testimony on the matter.
All right, and I know I circulated an email to councilors from Mr. Dromey, who cannot be on the call, but I just want to read that into the record if I can, as I feel it's certainly relevant to this. He says, I apologize, but I have the adult use marijuana presentations tonight on Zoom, so I will not be able to attend the city council meeting tonight. I do plan on having Allen from my office attend in case there are any questions. With regard to the special permit on for tonight, 1344 Dwight Street, I have a number of conversations with the petitioner around the parking issue. It appears he will be okay with the parking he currently has. However, this is going to limit him to one service bay. As you are aware, he was hoping to pave the adjacent parcel, but he does not have the needed funding at this time to complete that work. When and if he has the funding to pave the adjacent parcel, he would then be allowed to add additional service bays. If you have any questions or need additional information, please let me know. So is there anyone from to speak to this special permit that's currently here on the call with us? Mr. Alvin, are you on the call this evening?
Yes. Do you have any specific questions?
All right. I was just wondering. Thank you. Councilors, are there any other questions at this time for the special permit? Mr. Gomez.
Yes, Mr. President. I was not here for the beginning of the hearings. I will need a clarification if I'm going to be able to vote on this issue tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Gomez. Madam Clerk, will Councilor Gomez be able to participate in this section?
Yes, he can participate.
Yes, Councilor Gomez, you are able to participate. Do you have a question?
Five.
All right. Thank you. Counselor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had a couple quick questions for the petitioner. Mr. Martinez, if he's on the call.
Mr. Martinez, are you on the call this evening?
I know he was with us in the beginning.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Councilor Letterman here. I just had two quick questions. One was, did you understand the condition that Mr. Dromey's testimony was read into the record at the beginning relative to just the one service bay at this point?
Yes. Because there is a problem. When I was gonna do the parking space, because they only told me that I had to do the asphalt, and plus I need to do a drainage in the parking space. But then I took some guy that does commercial asphalt, and now it's a different story. Now he wants me. Now I'm supposed to get an engineer to do a layout in that location where I need the parking space. Something about they got to burp it, they got to cut the curb, a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just the parking space and not just the asphalt and the drainage. It's more all the things they got to get done all together. And I asked him, what's the budget on that? He said it's going to be up to $50,000. I said, wow, that's a hit. That's a lot of money, for me just to have a parking space there at the beginning. I was going to do it if it was just the asphalt and the drainage, but they want all the stuff in the parking space. So $50,000 right now is way off for me. Just starting right now as it is.
Sure. So it sounds like you're okay though to proceed forward with just the one bay and the one space at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because like I told him, if the business goes okay, I don't mind investing it later and a few years down the road, but I got to make sure that it's going to work out for me, the location and the clientele is going to get, the money has to come in so I could invest, I could invest it in the parking space and whatever I need to do to use the location as a parking space.
Sure. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Are there any other questions for the petitioner at this time, Councilor Davila?
No, Mr. President, not so much as a question, maybe a clarifying point. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Councilor Gomez did ask for clarification on the project. And also, I do have a question for the clerk. If participating equates to voting.
Councilor Davila, I believe the Madam Clerk has already addressed that.
No, I understand that she did, but I just wasn't clear if, so that we're clear, he's able to vote today, correct?
Madam Clerk, can you please speak to that again?
I'm sorry, Councilor Davila, can you repeat the question? Are you asking the same question Councilor Gomez asked?
Perhaps, not sure. You did say that he's able to participate. I just want to be clear that, does that mean he's able to vote on this matter today? As it relates to his district? Okay, he does.
Yes, he's able to participate.
Okay, and so, okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Right, thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any other questions for the petitioner at this time? Any other questions? All right, seeing none, is there any? Oh, Councilor Whitfield.
I'm sorry, before we move on, I think that Councilor Davila is right in what he was saying, that Councilor Gomez said he needs clarification, and I don't know if the clarification is on the process or on this particular item that we're talking about, but he didn't ask if he could participate. He asked for clarification either on the process or either on the petition. And so that's what he asked.
Councilor Gomez, were you satisfied with the clerk's answer? Or did you need further clarification?
No, correct. The question was, of course, if I was going to be able to participate because I came in late and I was not part of this discussion. And I want to make sure that, yes, I can participate by voting either way.
Okay, thank you. And I know the Madam Clerk has addressed that. So is there any at this time further deliberation amongst the council at this time? Again, I will ask, is there any further deliberation amongst the council at this time? All right, seeing none, the hearing is now closed. I will certainly now entertain a motion to approve the special permit at this time.
I make a motion, so moved.
All right, motion made by Counselor Whitfield. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Counselor
Gomez,
Gomez.
second.
All right, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on approving the special permit?
On approving the special permit, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the special permit is approved. And before I turn it over to Counselor Edwards for the reasons, there is an adorable sounding baby on the call at this time. Can I just ask that that individual please mute their mic? All right, Counselor Edwards, can you please state the reasons for approval?
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. The use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. To incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the finding.
All right, thank you, Counselor Edwards. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on accepting the reasons?
On accepting the reasons, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the reasons are accepted. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a petition for Armory Street.
Is there anyone here to speak to this petition?
Councilors, Chris Signoli, DP Director. At the last meeting, I requested that this item be tabled and I requested it be continued again. The owners there are still working out easement agreements with utility companies. So once those agreements are set, I will bring it back to the council for your review, and I expect it to take at least another month.
Thank you, Chris. And can I just ask, is that continuance for the next two items as well?
No, the other two we'll address now.
All right, thank you, Chris. May I have a motion, entertain a motion from the council to?
I'm sorry, can I just ask a quick question to Mr. Signoli? Mr. Signoli, do you want me to keep it off the agenda until you just ask that it be put back on so it's not on every time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No problem with the continuance. I just wanted to make sure, because I know that this is a petition that was brought forward by the abutting residents, that they're not in any danger of having any sort of time expire or be at risk of paying additional advertising or fees or anything like that. Are they going to be all right, Chris?
Yeah, no, they should be fine with that. And as I said, they're trying to work out the easement agreements, because where the land will revert to the homeowners is going to have existing utilities on it. So the utility companies just need to do those easements. So as long as we can keep it off the agenda, we'll be fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't going to become overly burdensome. So
yeah,
I
no,
will
not
make
a problem.
Motion, at that time.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you, Councilor Letterman. May I please entertain a motion to continue this item?
So moved.
All right, motion made by Councilor Letterman, second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, can we please call the roll on continuing this item?
On continuing the item, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton? Counselor Fenton? Absent. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes. The petition is continued. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is the petition for Eversource at Parkside Street.
Mr. Signoli?
Good evening, councilors. Chris Signoli. This petition is by Eversource Gas to replace and install a new gas main on Parkside Street for 1,300 feet and for a section of Chapin Terrace and a small section of Thames and Moreland Street off of Armory Street in the Hungry Hill section.
All right, thank you, Chris. Are there any questions from the council at this time? Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chris, is this new infrastructure they're putting in, or are they retiring old infrastructure to do this?
They are replacing, I just want to make sure I got it. They're upping the pressure to medium pressure in the area and retiring aged low pressure cast iron mains.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? And I'll ask, are there any other questions from the council at this time? Seeing none, usually we take this up by voice vote, but Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on accepting this petition?
On accepting the petition, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the petition is passed. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a petition for Eversource at State Street.
Good evening, councilors. Chris Signoli. This is for Eversource Electric to install a new conduit system underneath State Street, directly in front of and across the street where Commerce High School is, to tap into an existing manhole to be able to increase electrical service to Commerce High School.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions from the council at this time? Again, I ask, are there any other questions from the council at this time? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept this petition?
On accepting the petition, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the petition is accepted. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next agenda on the item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a grant for health services for the homeless.
All right, is there anyone present to speak to this grant? Again, I will ask, is there anyone present to speak to this grant?
Hi, Mr. President. Lindsay Hackett.
Wait, is that my grant, health services?
Yes, it is, Helen.
Oh, thank you. I am so sorry. I apologize. I distracted her.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
Thank you very much for being willing to jump in.
No
Yes,
worries.
I am so excited about this $2.2 million grant. It is our annual allocation from the federal government to service our homeless population. And this grant is a grant that covers our clinical services, our medical services. It covers our behavioral health services, dental clinic, case management, as well as administration. So we have gotten this grant since 1988, and we're excited to continue to provide these critical services to the most vulnerable residents of the city of Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is my birth year. Wow. Are there any questions for the commissioner at this time, council? Again, I'll ask, are there any questions from the council at this time? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to accept the grant? Oh, Councilor Gomez, I'm sorry, before the motion.
Yes, Helen. If any of this money is dedicated to the veterans community, the homeless veterans community?
There is no special line item, Councilor Gomez, that says veterans. However, I can tell you that our health center does take care of veterans, particularly those who are unsheltered, who need to have health care and also need to have case management and behavioral health services. So I can't tell you, but I certainly can pull out the data to tell you how many veterans the health center is serving, if you would like.
That would be very interesting, Helen. I would like to have that data, please.
I will get that to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor and Commissioner. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none, please can I entertain a motion to accept this grant?
Moved.
All right, motion made by Councilor Davila, seconded?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Letterman. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on accepting this grant?
On accepting the grant, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the grant has been accepted. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a DPW pre-disaster mitigation grant.
Thank you, Mr. Signoli.
Good evening, councilors. The DPW and the city have been awarded $284,000 through FEMA and MEMA, and it is a 75-25% split. The city has to come up with $94,000, and it is for downstream repairs of a culvert on Tiffany Street in the area of Bremen Street, entry Dingle Brook, it's called. We are having some severe erosion issues on the immediate downstream slope of the culvert and on the downstream face. So we were awarded funds through FEMA, or excuse me, from FEMA through MEMA for this project. It's very similar to the project, or the funds are very similar to the project that we are now starting on South Branch Parkway. And as I said at the Finance Subcommittee today, I gotta thank Melanie for all the help that she gave me on putting this application together. We actually submitted over 2 years ago, so it's taken a long time to get the approval from FEMA.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions from the council at this time? Again, I will ask, are there any questions from the council? Seeing none, may I entertain a motion to accept this grant?
So moved.
Motion made by Gomez, I believe, seconded by Counselor Allen.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on accepting the grant?
On accepting the grant, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the grant has been accepted. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a Parks Round 26 MPPF grant.
Is there anyone present to speak to this grant?
Yes, Counselor Patrick Shellen, Director of Parks and Buildings for the City of Springfield. This grant is from the Mass Preservation Project Fund for $60,000. It will study the exterior of City Hall for the historic significance and the repair to City Hall, concentrating on the windows of this building.
Thank you, Pat. Are there any questions from the council at this time? Again, Counselor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hey, Pat, the question that I had was, once the study is done, does it tell you like if we should replace the windows, repair them, keep them the same? Like, what's the study gonna tell us?
Yeah, it will review past renovations. I think the last time the windows were done were the mid 80s, and it will give us a budget. It will tell us should they just be replaced, should they be rebuilt, and also it's going to, the roof is nearing its end of life as well, so it's going to be important to get that information on the roof as well. So we're excited about this opportunity. The windows are what scares me the most about the building right now.
So it's doing the full exterior study, or?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna look at all the masonry for pointing. If you look at the interior of the courtyard, there's that brick needs pointing and so forth. We also have the leaded glass windows going down the staircase. So again, it's, as you know, it's one of our most important buildings in the city, and it will also open up the opportunity for additional state and federal grants because of the work that we're going to be doing under the study. So it's an important first step to get more grants to make repairs to the complex.
Thank you. And I just wanted to let the counselors know that we did talk about this in the finance subcommittee meeting, and 30,000 comes from the preservation fund, and 30,000 will be coming from the pay-as-you-go capital account that the city has. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor, for the context. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? Seeing none, may I entertain a motion to accept the grant?
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Whitfield, second.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Hurst. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on accepting this grant?
On accepting the grant, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the grant has been accepted. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item?
The next item on the agenda is confirmation of the appointment of Daniel Rodriguez to the Water and Sewer Commission.
Is there anyone to speak to this item? If you could, please just state your name and address for the record.
I'm Dan Rodriguez, 96 Maplewood Terrace. And with me is Josh Schimmel, or he was here a second ago, the Executive Director.
Present.
Okay, there he is. So Josh, I think you open it up and then I answer questions. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Mr. Rodriguez, you can feel free to speak to the position you're seeking if you like as well.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a Water and Sewer Commission position. I've been in this position for the past, 15 years, Josh? Maybe 17 years?
Somewhere in there.
So it's a renewal of the position. It's appointed by the mayor and approved by the council. I'm a city resident and familiar with what's going on with the Water and Sewer Commission. There's 3 of us. And then I'll let Josh kind of take it away from there, I guess.
Thank you.
May
Josh,
I?
would you like to add? Yes.
Sure. I think the commissioner brings a lot to the table for us. He has an engineering background, has run large chemical facilities, understands budgeting, understands many of the challenges with infrastructure renewal that the commission faces, and has been instrumental over the past decades in helping the commission achieve renewal of our infrastructure and keeping a balanced budget and keeping rate stability. And does right by the communities that we serve.
Thank you, Mr. Schimmel and Mr. Rodriguez. Are there any questions from the council at this time in the reappointment? I will again ask, is there any question from the council at this time? All right, seeing none, may I please entertain a motion? Oh, Councilor Letterman.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. Commissioner, thanks for being here and congratulations on your renomination. Just wondering if you could share with the council a little bit about, your thoughts about what's next for the commission. I know, it has a pretty broad authority over what goes on. And I know there's, very large amount of capital projects and improvements planned in the coming years, very much necessary ones. But I think we're also all aware of the need to balance that with the rates and everything that's going on. So I was wondering if you could just go a little more in depth as to your thoughts on, what's going to be required in the next few years.
Well, that's a big question. There's quite a bit of projects, quite the list of projects that are ongoing right now, and a lot of it happens to be regulatory driven. And we've gotten, understandably and appropriately, the EPA and the DEP has been continuously tightening the requirements on clean water and sewer treatment. And we have a facility that was built over 100 years ago, and we have to supply water to all the residents in Springfield and some surrounding areas as well. But the regulatory requirements have been changing so dramatically. That's been driving the big capital work that's going on. We've got a $300 million project going on in the former York Street site there. That's an upgraded pump facility. And then the capital plan, believe it or not, over the next 10 years is probably an inch thick. And the majority of it is, as I mentioned, the regulatory driven, and we're trying to maintain the highest quality water and the cleanest environmental conditions we can for our residents, but balancing that with not bankrupting the citizens and the surrounding communities. When we have our annual rate meeting every year, we go through the capital plan, or at least the major items of the capital plan. That is posted on our website. If Josh or I could go through that right now, but I think that would probably take about 45 minutes.
Sure. No, that won't be necessary, Commissioner. I think I just wanted to hear kind of your broad thoughts on it. And, I agree. The work is necessary. I think one of the things we've discussed in various committees on the council with Josh and with other members of the team at the city side, is the issue of much of the funding at the federal and state level really not coming to support local water and sewer commissions such as ours, which is really a sort of different from when this level of work was previously done. So,
That's right.
what I would share sort of is
Thank you, Councilor Lederman. And I certainly appreciate anything, and this goes to all the councilors, and the mayor knows this as well. At any point when you're talking to any of the state or federal legislators, by all means, water and sewer tends to be transparent and underground, so people don't think of it. But any state or federal funding we can get is any support, and we're always looking for it. So you could, at any time, if you met with somebody, you could say, please support the efforts that they're doing, because there's probably some grant or something we're applying for at that given time.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman and Ms. Rodriguez. Councilor Allen.
Hi, thanks. Thanks, Dan, for showing up here and being willing to serve the city again for 2 or 3 more years, whatever the term is. I know it's hard. I know there's a lot of projects that need to get done. And as a city resident, the importance for a lot of people for everybody really to try to keep costs as controlled as we can. So thanks for your service, and thanks for trying to do that on behalf of keep the water great for all of us, and to keep the rates as reasonable as we can. So thank you for your service, and look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Are there any other questions or comments from the council at this time? Any other questions or comments from the council at this time? Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dan, Mr. Rodriguez, congratulations on your renomination for the position, and thank you for all the hard work you've done. But just briefly, I don't think I would do justice if I don't ask this question. But before I ask the question, is this term a 2 or 3 year term?
A 3-year term.
A 3-year term. So if I may, and I know we can go for a couple hours with this question I'm about to ask you, but just a general feeling, because I think it's fair, given the scare that we got recently with the potential water hike that they were proposing, and eventually got brought down significantly. And I know the mayor subsequently gave a subsidy to help with the water and sewer. But what's the plan to sort of balance keeping costs down for the residents of Springfield?
Well, there's really, it's twofold. One is we are pursuing various funding sources constantly, and we've got some underway right now that are state grants or federal grants that can give us loans that are very low interest for long periods of time, or just a grant, a free grant. And we're constantly trying to pull those in. And we've got some underway right now that we're working into the current budget, which is being worked on. I don't have any finalization there. That's one piece. And then the other piece is every time, this is a philosophy as far as projects go, every time we get required to do something that may or may not have been in our plan, let's say tomorrow that the federal government said that all fire hydrants needed to be painted purple from now on. Okay, it'd be something that we have no choice, and it'd be an expense associated with it. But we would find a way to have that benefit the city. And maybe in that case, using the silly example, we'd say, well, 30% of them are old and they need to be replaced. And so we'll get the federal government to buy, new fire hydrants at the same time. So we try to take a federal requirement or a state requirement and turn it into a cost reduction where possible. That's not always the case. We also look for other ways to optimize the operations of both the water and the sewer side. However, the primary focus needs to be first and foremost high quality water, high quality environmental impact, and reliable water service for health and health services and fire protection in the city.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Are you all set, Counselor?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Shimo, did you have a comment?
Sure. Just real quick, I would just add to the commissioner's commentary that one of the other things, counselors, aside from the purely budgetary and financing aspects, are we've really expanded our customer assistance program. And I think that's really important to your constituents. So we've increased senior and disabled discounts. We've increased the availability of payment plans during the COVID pandemic. And then we've initiated and stood up another program for eligible participants based on the LIHEAP program, the Low Income Heating and Energy Assistance Programs. And those are available to all of our customers, and we've been promoting those. So we've really expanded the customer assistance program with the understanding that we know we have to proceed with certain programs and projects, and that those costs are going to impact everybody, but the ones who are most impacted, we're trying to give them as much assistance as well. Also, I could just briefly speak to the Consolidated Appropriations Act that was passed last month by Congress and Senate. Also has $638 million worth of low-income water and sewer assistance, specifically for water and sewer. It's the first of its kind. We participated in helping to write that piece of legislature at the federal level, and I was directly involved with that. So I think that's also something that is going to flow from the federal government for low-income folks, which is going to come to the state here. We've already been in contact with the state on how that money is going to be dispersed. So we're tracking on the federal and state level a lot of the funding that's going to be available to us, as well as any of the infrastructure funding that is being spoken about now as well. So a lot of avenues that we're plugged into and chasing outside of our traditional budgeting process and funding sources that we're looking at.
Thank you, Mr. Shimo. Councilor Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, Dan, Mr. Rodriguez, thank you for your willingness to serve and your years of service to the Water and Sewer Commission. As has sort of been indirectly stated, we saw a pretty significant increase to bills last year. I think the initial proposal, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was somewhere in the range of a 17% increase. We ended up at about 11. Do we have any sort of forecast, Dan or Josh, for what we might be looking at in the coming months for rates for next year?
We're working on that right now. We'll have that data pulled together as part of the budget process. We just got our first draft. I don't know if Josh, if you want to say anything else to that, but I don't have the hard numbers at this point.
Yeah, that's a moving target. We're not anticipating last year. I think when we first published the budget, we were at a 16.9% increase, and that was based upon the data that we have. We had our largest customer had shut down at that point, and we were projecting revenue losses. When they came back online, it changed the data that we had, and we landed at a 9.5% combined rate, and that was the increase. So where we are, it's not going to be 16.9%. I can promise you that. And I think we're still in some negotiations with the federal government on some loan packages that have become available to us. So we're going to have that here in the next month or so, and the mayor and city council will have that in the same format that we have, with time to review it, discuss it, and obviously we're happy to do. We did a series of meetings with the council last year, and we're happy to do that again as often as folks would like in order to answer any questions. So I think the process is pretty well established and works. And we're available once we land on the numbers. We'll get it out there, and we'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has.
I guess I could. I'm sorry if I don't know if it's out of process for me to interrupt, but I could add to it for Councilor Fenton's benefit that there won't be any 17% increases coming in the next 10 years.
That's very good. Thank you, Dan. Just a question about the commission itself and sort of how you operate. I guess I've paid more attention to it since last year because of that issue. And there's quite a bit of, there's a lot of operations, a very serious job. And there's a lot of employees, and tens of millions of dollars in annual expenses. And so the commission, it's 3 members. And how regularly do you meet, Dan?
We meet at least monthly, every month throughout the year. And then that as a commission, and then individually, since there's only 3 of us, we can't meet, 2 of us makes a quorum, so we don't meet off, out of the commission meetings themselves with each other. We'll meet with Josh or anybody in the commission itself that, if we want to follow up on something, I might meet with the accounting folks or come in for a special meeting. So there's at least, including the commission meeting itself, there's at least 2 meetings a month that we go to.
Is there a stipend for the job?
No.
Well, I'm very happy to support Dan's appointment today. Thank you guys, both Dan and Josh, for being so candid with your answers. And it seems to me, Mr. President, that we should have a conversation with the mayor over the course of the next fiscal year to talk about that issue specifically. And I know that we have a great group of commissioners that are very committed to the city and very committed to the department. But it seems to me, and I kind of started to get this feeling last year, that this is a really big undertaking that we're asking them to be responsible for. Well, what's your annual budget, Dan, roughly?
96 million.
96 million.
Right, Josh?
Yeah,
Right?
100 million. Yep.
And they're the hiring and firing authority for, I'm assuming, Mr. Schimmel and many other employees within the commission. In some ways, the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission has more direct power over its department than the city council has direct power over the city. And so I think that we should take a look at increasing the, I think we should take a look at compensation for the commission. And I think that it would help to allow members to continue to commit the attention that's required to manage a department of $90 million every year. And that's just my 2 cents. So I know you're chomping at the bit to say something, Dan. I know you're not asking for it, but it just seems to me like it doesn't add up. We're asking these 3 people to be responsible for $90 million and they're volunteers. It's like, a little bit more responsibility than the ZBA or the planning board, in my opinion.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. And Dan, if I can, I'm going to just shoot to the other councilors and then finish up with you, hopefully. Councilor Ramos, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Councilor Ramos.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. President, thank you. I just thought I wanted to, I agree with Councilor Fenton. I actually had this conversation with some of my colleagues my first year on the council, where I believe we only have 1 or 2 committees or commissions in the city that actually receive a stipend. And some of the ones that require the most time and effort, or definitely the most time consuming ones are unpaid, including the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission. The License Commission, in which I served for 3 years, is also uncompensated. And so I think that we need to have that conversation about all commissions in the city and which ones should be compensated based on the time consuming requirement. So thank you, Councilor Fenton, for bringing that up, and I'd be happy to support your request.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I was just gonna ask, but I think Councilor Ramos clarified it, if the water and sewer commissioners get paid now or get a stipend now. They do not? Okay, I think that was the question that I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Mr. Rodriguez, did you have another comment to make?
Yeah, just with regards to compensation, the enabling law that allowed the creation of the Water and Sewer Commission, which is separate from the city, the law actually has within it the ability for the commissioners to vote on compensation, and we have chosen not to.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? Again, I'll ask, are there any other questions from the council at this time? Seeing none, can I please entertain a motion at this time to appoint Mr. Rodriguez again to the Water and Sewer Commission?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, motion by Councilor Fenton, seconded by Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on the appointment?
On approving the order, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran? Absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh? Absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Rodriguez, on your reappointment to the Water and Sewer Commission.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, counselors. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Schimmel. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is the creation of Gun Block Local Historic District.
All right, councilors, this item is on for first step this evening. Is there anyone present to speak to this item?
Councilors, again, this is Alvin Allen from the Office of Planning and Economic Development. The petitioner for this particular matter is Develop Springfield, who is the property owner. I don't believe I see them on the call, so if they're not present, I would ask the council to continue this matter.
Thank you, Alvin. There is a suggestion that this item be continued. Is there any discussion on the matter? All right, seeing none, may I?
Motion to continue the item, please.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Councilor Letterman. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on continuing this item?
On continuing the item, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Counselor Gomez? Yes. Counselor
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran? Absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh? Absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the item has been continued. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item?
The next item on the agenda is the creation of All Saints Church Local Historic District.
Is there anyone present to speak to this? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
For some reason, I can't put my image on the screen, but I'm Steve Hayes. I'm the founding director of the drama studio that owns the St. Barnabas Church on 41 Oakland.
All right, and would you like to describe the item this evening?
Yes, the drama studio was created in 1987, and we've been a tenant of this property since that time. And we bought the facility in 2017, and we are now trying to bring this 1908 facility up to code so that we can better serve our constituency, but also expand our programs into the Springfield Public Schools. It's a wonderful facility. It was built in 1908, and here's the kick. It was built to honor by an architect in Springfield named Guy Kirkham to kind of recreate the home church of William Pynchon, the founder of Springfield, his home church in England. So it's called English Country Gothic, and it's a very plain building, but full of atmosphere, and it exists on this small plot of land. We think that by creating a historic district, it gives us access to funding through the Community Preservation Fund. We've already received a grant, and part of the bargain with that funding source was that we'd find mechanisms to preserve the property, save it. So we have done that, and so that's why we're here. We think this will strengthen the street. Having been a member of the Springfield Historic Commission, we've received their endorsement and the Massachusetts Historic Commission. And I used to serve for 8 years on the Historic Commission and saw the impact of what this kind of status can mean to a community in preserving property. So that's why we are appealing to create this district. It's a one building district that would recognize its historical properties.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hayes. Are there any questions for the petitioner at this time? Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Hayes, for being on the call. I just wanted to rise in support of the petition and thank the Historic Commission for forwarding it on. The Drama Studio is a fantastic organization in and of itself, and its stewardship of this building for the last several years under its ownership, and for many years before that as a tenant, is really to be commended. I think anything that we can do to make them eligible for more programs and funds to be able to continue the physical structure, we certainly should. And I also think that that will also enable them to continue their mission of working with children and teenagers across the city of Springfield who are interested in the arts. So have had the opportunity in the past to visit the building personally and also attend some events hosted by the Drama Studio. So really glad to see this on the agenda and plan to vote in support.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this building sits right on my district. It's a very long-standing district. As Mr. Hayes was discussing, the building was built in 1908, and it has a direct connection to the founder of Springfield, Mr. William Pynchon. I am glad that the Drama Studio is in there. They have been, Drama Studio have been recognized by the Forest Park Civic Association for being good neighbors and for being a positive influence here in the neighborhood in Forest Park. I have to say that it is my understanding the Forest Park Civic Association also did write a letter in support of this local historic district, and I will be thrilled to be casting my vote in favor of creating the All Saints Church local historic district. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any other questions for the petitioner or comments at this time? Again, are there any other questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to pass the ordinance for first step this evening.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Letterman. May I have a second? Seconded by Councilor Gomez, I believe that was. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll and accept, or I'm sorry, passing the item for first step this evening?
On passing first step, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Curran absent. Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Walsh absent. Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Williams?
Yes, the order has passed first step. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is a special act related to outstanding fines, fees, penalties related to fireworks.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am pleased to introduce this special act in conjunction with Mayor Sarno to address the continuance of fireworks here in the city and the problem that we have had here in the city. By way of background, Mr. President, as we all recall, last year we had an extremely busy and noisy summer. Just to put this into perspective, as it relates to fireworks, in 2019, we had about 300 firework-related complaints. In 2020, we had about 3,300 firework-related complaints. As we all recall last year, thanks to the support of all my colleagues, we together were able to pass an ordinance calling for the creation of a $300 fine for those people that set off fireworks without permit here in the city of Springfield. Subsequently, after that, the mayor came up with his own proposal of attaching the fine to property. This was in turn sent to committee last year, where it died in committee. I do fear, Mr. President, this year, in particular in the summer, after a year and a half of being cooked up because of the pandemic, that we are going to have an extremely active summer. I also have to say, Mr. President, that the fireworks, as good as they are indeed a safety concern. I have to say, Mr. President, before I forget, that I have Detective Sean Walker here in the meeting, just in case any of the councilors have any questions to Detective Walker. Detective Walker sits in the arson bomb squad, who is in charge of dealing with a lot of these firework-related issues. And so, Mr. President, in terms of safety down in North End, it is my understanding that last year, a firework went through the window and hit a kid in the forehead. We also had a fire in the North End. Here in my own district, we had one fire related to the fireworks and another very highly suspicious fire related to fireworks. So the mayor came up with his proposal. I'm working in conjunction with him to this proposal. Now, this proposal calls for the fine, if it's not paid after a total of 74 days, that the car it's subject to being towed or to be booted, pretty much like the excise tax. If you don't pay your tax, your excise tax, your car will be towed or booted. And so that's what the spirit of this legislation does. It's not targeting any particular, the children. It's targeting the people who drive around, and that's a real problem here, Mr. President, the people who drive around setting off fireworks on a corner, then get in the car, they move on to the next corner and set off fireworks at the expense of your and my peace and quiet. And so I do believe that this legislation that I'm working together with the mayor will be a positive step in ensuring our quality of life. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Ramos.
President, thank you. Just for the record, I wanted to abstain from this item as it may be headed to the Massachusetts General Court. And I asked that if it be sent to committee, that it be sent to another committee other than public safety, because I cannot participate in the vote at the council level. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Madam Clerk, can you please note Councilor Ramos's abstention from this item? Are there any other questions or comment from the council at this time? Councilor Letterman.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor Davila, and thank you, Detective Walker, for being here as well and for all your work. A question, Mr. President. Do we know what the procedure will be for this ordinance after tonight? Does it require multiple steps or is it one vote?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Councilor Allen? I mean, Letterman, I'm sorry about that.
Sure. Did you lose me or can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you a little
Okay.
bit.
I was just saying perhaps yourself or Attorney Moore or Councilor Davila, the process for this, is it multi-step vote or does it only need one vote?
It is my understanding, Councilor, that this is a one vote matter, but I will certainly defer to the clerk on that matter.
So the special act tonight is approved by the council. It goes to the mayor. If it's approved by the mayor sends it to the general court.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Councilor Davila, this would only apply to vehicles, right? So this would be a booting of the vehicle, and then if the vehicle if the fine was still unpaid, the vehicle could be seized.
That's correct, Council Letterman. It calls for once the fine is issued, you have a total of 14 days to pay the fine. If after 14 days the fine is not paid, the tax collector will send you a notice, and that will give you another 30 days. After those 30 days, if you don't pay the fine, then they issue a demand notice with another 30 days to pay the fine. So total, you have a total of 74 days to pay the fine. And I must also point out, Councilor Letterman, that this is on a yearly basis. The information will be transmitted to the police department. So in theory, a person will have pretty much a whole year to pay this to avoid getting told before they're subject to be told or booted.
Does this tie beyond the vehicle itself? Does this tie it into the registration, license, anything like that?
No, it does not. It's the language spells out specifically that it's only the vehicle. Now, I am more than welcome to have strengthening language if any councilor wants to come up with another way to strengthen the language. But as it is my understanding, it's only the vehicle that is used in conjunction with. So the licensing will not be a stake in this case.
So, and to make sure I understand correctly, the vehicle itself would have to be in the name of the individual who was issued the citation?
That's my understanding, correct.
But the vehicle would not necessarily have to have been utilized in the participation of the fireworks, right?
In conjunction with, so whatever vehicle is the vehicle the person is using. Now, if the person's caught with a stolen vehicle or driving without license, or that's a whole different avenue that the police could pursue. But maybe that's a question perhaps the Attorney Moore can shed more light as it's more legalese.
No, that won't be necessary, Councilor Devil. I'm just trying to understand, is it that, so let's say we have an individual, I just want to make sure we understand the scope of it fully if we're only going to get one vote on it tonight. Yep. So if we have an individual who has been cited for the illegal use of fireworks, does it matter if you mentioned people driving around setting them off, which I've heard of and witnessed as well. Does it matter if they were doing that, or is it just the vehicle now becomes the incentive regardless of the vehicle's involvement in the fireworks?
They have to be.
As I read it, it would just be if you have a vehicle registered in your name, then that vehicle can have the fine attached to it, regardless of whether that vehicle was involved in the perpetration of the offense.
That's correct.
And do we know how many of these unpaid fines exist?
I don't have that figure for you, but I do know the city has a total of outstanding fines of $1 million as it relates to city ordinance tickets. But this is something that don't forget we passed last year. Maybe Sergeant Walker can shed some light to your question on that, if you wish.
Sure, of course, Detective.
Excuse me, Detective Walker. My apologies.
Just to clarify, I'm an investigator with the fire department with the arson and bomb squad. I'm also the bomb squad commander. Whenever fireworks are collected by whether it's the district police cars or sometimes when the narcotics officers, when they make a bust, sometimes people have a large amount of fireworks. They give them to us because we have the facility to store this stuff. In conjunction with the state police bomb squad, we dispose of any fireworks that are received by the police.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have some more questions, but I know Councilor Allen has his hand up too, so I'll yield, but I'd like to circle back if possible later.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Allen.
Hi, thanks, Mr. President. Thanks, Mr. Walker. Nice to see you again. I met you on Newton Road the other night.
Good to see you too.
At the fire around the corner from my house. Thanks for being here. Can you comment on the effectiveness of this, or is this something that you recommend this, or do you know of other communities that are using this procedure or this policy? Do you have any comments on any of that?
I don't know what any other communities are doing. I just do know that the because of last year, because of mainly because of COVID, people are inside. There's been the fireworks costs throughout the state have probably, I'm going to say probably more than tenfold, if not more. Speaking with my, the state police bomb squad, they have received more fireworks than they ever have. I've been told out towards the Boston area, they've collected numerous pallets of fireworks that people are bringing into the state. And this is stuff that we have to dispose of, obviously, because of the law. People have been hurt. Houses over the years have been set on fire because of fireworks. It is a danger. And unfortunately, in the city of Springfield, it's an urban area. Everything is pretty much condensed. And I believe that something needs to be done in the city to help prevent any kind of injuries or people's properties being set on fire. We're not a rural area where anything is spread out. It's very easy for a house to catch fire. And as an investigator, when a house does catch fire because of fireworks, it makes it very difficult for us to actually come to that determination. Because of that, we try to eliminate any other cause. If fireworks are going off, and prior to the fire, we can't just assume that it was, but there's a chance that it could have been from any fireworks if they were going off prior to that.
And do you have evidence of specific fires? And I don't need to know the location, but where there was a direct connection between fireworks and a property fire?
Yeah, last year if I'm correct, there were a few. I didn't actually do the investigations myself. As Councilor Davila said, somebody did get hurt at one that I can remember, and at that same fire, I believe there was some damage caused by that. I know in the past, I've been a fire investigator now for 13 years, and in the past we have had houses that the cause that we've come to the conclusion that it was fireworks that have caused the fire.
Okay, great. Thanks for being here and for your work in that role for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Before I turn it back to Councilor Letterman, are there any other councilors at this time that have a question? Councilor Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fireworks are illegal. We should relegate them. It's a public safety issue. It's a quality of life issue. I want to thank Councilor Davila for bringing this forward. My question is regarding the amount of the fine associated with the ticket that's issued for a fireworks violation currently. This doesn't seem to affect that. So what is the amount of the fine that's currently issued if someone's cited for illegally shooting off fireworks?
Someone speak to that? Councilor Davila.
I may, sure, Mr. President. Councilor Fenton, that would be $300, sir.
Okay, good. That's a max. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Are there any other councilors? Seeing none, Councilor Letterman, if you had other questions.
Sure, I think Attorney Moore wanted to maybe add to that, Mr. President. I saw him.
Oh,
I apologize. Yes, before the council takes a vote, I think it's important to note that I believe the item that was submitted to the council in the packet has missing language that Councilor Davila had asked me to put in that I had put in another draft. I don't see that that's the one in front of the council. So I'm not sure if I'm mistaken and I'm looking at the wrong agenda, but when I saw it, I noticed it did not have two pieces that I think are relatively important, some of which was discussed a few minutes ago. So, go ahead, Councilor.
If I may, Mr. President? Yes. That's correct, Attorney Moore. I see it there, but I would welcome that amendment without objection.
Yeah, so the amendment would be essentially at the end of the first paragraph of the measure, at the end of what's called section 1, the first paragraph, it discusses that the ordinance, that no notice will be submitted by the police commissioner under this section at a time when there is a pending, it should say a pending appeal of an underlying fireworks or pyrotechnics fine, fee, penalty, or cost. But what it really says is it talks about an assessment, because that's actual language from long ago draft that dealt with tax assessment alteration. So it has nothing to do with this issue. It really shouldn't state anything to do with assessments or anything like that. So that language should be amended, and I provided the clerk with that actual correct language before we started the meeting tonight, just to be sure. And then there's also language about the motor vehicles that Councilor Davila was discussing before, and Councilor Letterman asked a question about, where I put in language specifically saying that motor vehicles involved within the course of a violation with a fireworks or pyrotechnics would be subject to the booting and the towing, but motor vehicles just in the name of a person who received the violation would not be subject to that. So that's according to the language that I put in. Obviously, the council could adjust that, but I just wanted to let everybody be aware that that's what the amendments look like.
Thank you, Attorney Moore. I know there's an amendment on the floor, but prior to that, Madam Clerk, I just want to confirm that you have both pieces that Attorney Moore was discussing.
Yes, I have both pieces. I put in the one that I received earlier, and then the one that Attorney Moore is discussing, I didn't get to put it into the agenda because I just received it today, but I can send it to the counselors tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilor Hurst.
Thank you, Mr. President. It sounds like Attorney Moore actually spoke to the amendment that I was going to read into the record. So if it's not necessary, then I just will go on the record saying I support the ordinance with the amendment, and appreciate Councilor Davila for bringing this forth as it is necessary as we approach the spring and summer months. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Councilor Davila, I know you had the notion of making the amendment. Would you like to make that at this time?
Yes, I'm sorry, are you speaking to me or Councilor Hurst?
Yes, Councilor Davila. Yeah.
Yes, I welcome that amendment. I actually, if I may, I would, so that we are on the same page, I will kindly request if Councilor Hurst could actually read the amendment, be entered into the record.
Sure, Councilor Hurst, if you'd like to.
Sure, Councilor Davila. The amendment that I have is that we're going to replace, actually don't have the actual where it is in the ordinance, but we're going to eliminate, do you know what paragraph that is, Councilor Davila?
Yes, indeed. It's in section 1 where it says any motor vehicle or trailer.
So we're going to eliminate the section 1 paragraph that starts with any motor vehicle or trailer, and we're going to replace it with the following paragraph. Any motor vehicle or trailers owned in the name of the person owing the outstanding fireworks related collection assessed and remaining delinquent, which was used in the course of the underlying ordinance violation resulting in the fine, fee, penalty, or cost at issue, provided, however, that no notice shall be transmitted to the police commissioner under this section at a time when there is pending appeal of an underlying outstanding fireworks or pyrotechnics fine, fee, penalty, or cost as the cause may be.
All right, thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That into the record. We have an amendment on the floor proposed. Councilor Letterman on the amendment.
Yeah, on the motion, Mr. Chairman. So just again, want to understand the difference between if the vehicle was utilized in the commission of the ordinance violation and if it was not. So under this amendment, if you were driving around setting off fireworks, what happens?
Counselor, I think I can answer that. If you were driving around using fireworks in your vehicle, you will be subject to this special act. If you were running around the street as a pedestrian, setting off fireworks with no vehicle, it will not attach to your vehicle if you do own one. That's what we've done with this amendment.
Okay, so if your vehicle was not involved in the commission of the act, the vehicle is it's not relevant.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you for the clarification, Councilor. and Attorney Moore. We have a motion on the floor for the amendment. Can I have a second for that motion?
Second.
All right. Seconded by Councilor Letterman. Madam Clerk, can we please call the roll on amending the language as proposed?
On amending the language, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the amendment has been accepted. Is there any other discussion amongst the council at this time? Councilor Letterman?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. Just to wrap up my earlier thoughts, I appreciate Councilor Davila for bringing it forward with the changes. And, I would say, I think there will be some who will say, well, doesn't the city of Springfield have, other issues to worry about? I can share with you that here in McKnight, they are already going off, and I am already getting calls from constituents about it. And I would challenge anybody who would assert that this isn't something that we need to be continuing to pay attention to take the phone calls from the veterans and those who struggle with PTSD of any kind, from the parents who are up at 2 and 3 in the morning, who have to work the next day to provide for their families, who are comforting their children in the night, to really recognize we're not talking about a couple of nights around the 4th of July. We're talking about continuous, ongoing, real disruption to the quality of life and safety of neighborhoods across the city of Springfield. So one thing I would say, and I know Councilor Ramos has recused himself, so I don't know if he's listening, but I do think we should hold a public safety committee meeting soon on the enforcement, because I would like to know how many fines were issued last year after the city council adopted the $300 fine, and if any are outstanding, and also how individuals are thinking of handling enforcement in the year ahead. So thank you all.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Councilor Gomez? Councilor Gomez?
Thank you, Councilor Veteran. And many of us come back to Springfield and suffer PTSD. As myself, I'm 70% PTSD from the war in Vietnam. And it's not good for us. It comes to a point that we might get aggressive if we can't.
Councilor Gomez, your reception seems to be a little bit fuzzy.
Those individuals physically. I say we need to support this all the way.
Thank you, Councilor Gomez. I think we got the gist of what you were trying to say, certainly. Are there any other questions or comments from the council at this time? Any other questions or comments from the council at this time? Seeing none, may I please entertain a motion to move to the passage of this special act?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Whitfield.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Gomez. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on the passing of this act?
On passing the special act, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran, absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Shortly. Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos, abstained. Counselor Brown?
No.
No. Counselor Walsh, absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes. And approved and will be sent to the mayor, being sent to the general court. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item?
The next item on the agenda is a resolution, transparency and statewide vaccination data.
Is there anyone here present to speak to this resolution? Thank you, Councilor Letterman. And just as a recommended suggestion made early in the year, if you can read an excerpt, we would appreciate, as most folks have read this resolution. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I promise to you that I will not read the entire resolution into the record. I appreciate the recognition for the floor, and thank you to colleagues for your consideration of this resolution. This is a resolution urging the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to publicly release on a regular basis, both to local officials and to the public, the statewide numbers as well as the county and city, town, and zip code numbers of vaccinations that have been given out, whether that is vaccinations at super vaccination sites, vaccinations issued through private entities, or through, in the near future, thanks to the work of many at the local level here in the city of Springfield. This is really important because of the fact that we need to ensure there is transparency and equity in the vaccination process. And without knowing where individuals are not being able to receive the vaccine, it makes it difficult for, at the local level, our public health officials to respond. Now, I will share, Mr. President, that just a couple of days after I filed this resolution, the DPH did release for the first time that data publicly, and I have had a chance to review that. There are some things we certainly should discuss as a council, and we will through the COVID-19 response committee. But what they did not release were the numbers from the super vaccination sites, which are included in this resolution, nor do I necessarily know whether they plan to continue to release this regularly. So my inclination would be to just put the resolution on the record to make clear that we do expect the data to continue throughout this process for us to be able to make these important decisions at the local level.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Councilor Whitfield.
This is actually Helen Carlton Harris this time. Councilor Whitfield and I are leaving. I think Councilor Letterman said it well. The data, thanks for the advocacy. The data is being released by county, by state, and by zip code right now. So we do have an opportunity. So Councilor Letterman, thank you for your advocacy, and everyone else's, because it did have an impact. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield and Commissioner Carlton Harris. Are there any other questions or comments from the council at this time on the resolution? Councilor Letterman? All right. Any other questions or comments at this time from the council? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on the resolution?
On accepting the resolution, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gomez? Councilor Gomez? Absent. Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Curran? Absent. Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ramos?
Yes.
Yeah. Councilor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Walsh? Absent. Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Williams?
Yes, and Madam Clerk, I believe Councilor Gomez did say yes after the fact. Could you please report him?
Okay.
The resolution has passed. Can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is amending Chapter 110, puppy mills. It's on first, second, and third step.
Great, thank you, Madam Clerk. Were there any other discussion amongst the council on this item? Council?
Yes, may I respectfully ask that this staying committee is not prepared for discussion at the time.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. A motion has been made for this to remain in committee. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll and continue in this matter?
On continuing the matter, Councilor Edwards? Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh? Absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, this item has been continued. Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending chapter 385, speed hump petitions. It's on for second and third step.
Councilor Fenton.
Similar to Counselor Edwards' motion, I would make a motion that we refer this matter to committee. I'm still working on
The motion is on the floor by Councilor Fenton, seconded by Councilor Edwards. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
On putting the item into committee, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor
Madam
Letterman?
Clerk, the motion was to continue.
Motion to continue, yes.
I thought you said it was a motion to committee.
To continue, sorry.
Motion to continue. On the motion to continue, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh absent. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
This item has been continued. Madam Clerk, is there any other business before the council this evening?
There is no further business before the council.
There's no further business before the council this evening. Thank you, councilors. Hope you have a blessed night. Till we meet again.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Mr.
night,
President.
thanks.
Have a good night.
Everybody, good night.